Welcome you to the 2010 Election Roadshow. I'm Nels Jensen. I'm the Director of Content and Programming here at the Press Enterprise. We want to thank everybody for participating in our inaugural year of this candidate forum format. We are sponsored by the Press Enterprise, by the Beaumont Cherry Valley Recreation and Park District, and by Mount San Jacinto College. We are conducting 25 forums around western Riverside County. Yesterday we were in Beaumont. Today we're here in Riverside. Tomorrow we are in San Jacinto, and Thursday and Friday we will be in Menifee. All these forums will be streamed live on pe.com and ustream.tv. The videos will be available on demand on pe.com on the road trip page of our politics area. This is the 6th forum we've done today and the 10th in the past 2 days. We are going to be, for the next hour, discussing the Jurupa Unified School District. This district has more than 20,000 students and has more than 20 schools in the system, including 3 comprehensive high schools. The school district has 3 seats available on its 5-member board. There are 11 qualified candidates for the board in 3 trustee areas. We'll take a second to meet our candidates here, and then we'll go through and give everybody a 2-minute opening statement. To my left over here in the trustee area 1, Mike Rodriguez, an incumbent, and Brian Schaefer, an entrepreneur. In trustee area 3, we have Pi Cornejo, a bilingual elementary teacher, and Mary Burns, a museum education director. To my right, from trustee area 5, we have Don Brewer, a member of the board, and Memo Mendez, a retired teacher, and Melody Arganda, a middle school teacher. You get those all right? All right. Before we get into the questions, each candidate will have 2 minutes to make an opening statement. Carol Park in front here is our timekeeper. She will hold up little cards there that signify when you're halfway through and as you begin to run out of time. We will politely cut you off if you're going long, just out of fairness, so that we don't have to have everybody going on. Really, it's just the rules that we've set forward. We also ask that you abide by the rules we've just discussed. And again, at the end, you will have a 1-minute closing statement, so you'll be able to get in whatever you couldn't in those previous minutes. Okay, we are going to start with the 2-minute opening statements. We are going to begin, and we'll go right around the table in this order. So we will start with Mike Rodriguez.
Thank you very much. My name is Michael Rodriguez. I currently serve on the Board of Education for the Jurupa Unified School District. I'm married to a beautiful woman named Rosemarie. We've been together almost 31 years, and we've been community members within Jurupa for almost 30 years. We are proud parents of 4 young adults, all graduates of Jurupa Unified School District. 3 of them have graduated from major universities. Our 2 daughters have graduated with their master's degrees, and we're very proud of them as well. We also have Joe and John, who joined our family at the ages of 4 and 3, and they've been with us for almost 10 years now. I'm very proud of my family, and you're going to hear me speak about that often. But as a board member, I think it's very important that we focus on our education, that we work hard, and that we work together, and then we resolve our disagreements as adults and as examples for our students. I would like to briefly talk about my community service. I'm presently the president of the Jurupa Lions Club. It's a service organization which focuses on the visually impaired. I've also had the opportunity with our community service to work with the Rotarians at our Food Fest, which raises thousands of dollars, which go to scholarships for our graduating seniors. I've also had the opportunity as a board member to create a memorial scholarship in my father's name, Lucy Rodriguez, and we've given several thousands of dollars in scholarships to our graduating students. And I mention that because my father did not have the opportunity to have a formal education. In fact, his education only went to the 3rd grade. So again, I'll be focusing on education and the services that we do there. It's been a great honor to serve on this board, and I want to thank the Press Enterprise for giving us the opportunity to speak. Thank you.
Okay, Brian Schaefer.
I have lived in Jurupa Valley for almost 30 years. 5 of my children have graduated from the Jurupa Unified School District. I have 3 grandchildren currently attending district schools. School board trustees are responsible for setting the long-term vision for the district. Trustees are not educators. That's left to the professionals. They are not managers. That's why we have a superintendent. The success of every student rides on the shoulder of every school board trustee. It's imperative that all trustees have a positive working relationship with one another. If elected, I believe my leadership skills and assets will go a long way in improving the relationship with my colleagues and the administration. Working as a team will bring results, not excuses, to the many challenges facing the Jurupa Unified School District. Safety on campus is my number one priority. There is zero tolerance for students bringing weapons on campus and selling drugs on campus. It's imperative that students and their teachers be afforded a safe, composed learning environment. Our community needs trustees that will focus on the wants, needs, and desires of the students, parents, and teachers that will ensure student success once they walk across the stage in their cap and gown and step into their future. Thank you.
Okay, now we'll hear from Pi Cornejo.
Good evening. My husband and myself moved to the Jurupa and Miraloma areas in August of '93, so we've been residents for about 17 years. I hold a bachelor's in Spanish from UC Riverside. I have a bilingual cross-cultural credential from National University, which I earned in February of '89. I have taught in LA Unified School District, Corona Norco, and currently I'm in Alvord. Been married 21 years. We have two beautiful young ladies. Proud to call our children. The oldest graduated from Jurupa Valley this past June. She's currently a student at Cal State Fullerton. Our youngest is a sophomore, also at Jurupa Valley. She's taking AP and honors classes and enjoying being on the varsity volleyball team. Playing there currently as we speak. I'm missing the game. In my 22 years of teaching, I've had experience in kinder through 5th grade. I student taught 6th grade, so I do have some 6th grade experience. I am currently grade level leader at in my school, Colette Elementary School, and I am an EL facilitator. I was voted in as state council rep for my association 1 year ago. I've been site rep for my site for about 5 years. My community involvement includes working with Jurupa Valley High School students as the secretary of the auxiliary of the choir, also chaperoning the Lady Jags volleyball on their overnight trips and treble choir. I am currently on school site council at Jurupa Valley. My friends and colleagues know me to be an honest, straightforward person who listens carefully to their concerns and trusts me to tell them the truth. When approached for board, I asked what are things that are important to someone as a school board member, kids being number one, including English learners. I've gained knowledge of school finance and leadership in my term as a bargaining team member with my association, and I don't want to be a rubber stamp community member on the board.
Okay, we're
Thank
out
you.
of time. Thank you. All right, Mary Burns.
My name is Mary Burns, and thank you very much for this opportunity to be here this evening. I have been on the Jurupa Unified School District's Board of Education for 20 years. I am the senior member on this board, and I enjoy it immensely. I suppose my claim to fame for what I have done for my community is school buses. When I got onto the school board, we had old, dirty diesel buses, and I'm a clean air advocate, and I worked very hard with members of the AQMD and obtained a $3 million grant. We are the first school district in the nation to have an entire fleet of CNG, cleaner fuel buses, and I'm very, very proud of that. What I do for a living is I am the director of the Jurupa Mountains Discovery Center, which is our new name. It's the Jurupa Mountains Cultural Center. On the 60 freeway, you'll see a dinosaur park and the mammoth on the mountain. That was something that is one of my pride and joys. We are very proud of our community, and I believe that hands-on education is something that needs to be increased in our school programs. The issues that I'm interested in is I want to look at boundary changes, because I think that we can do some serious saving of money with boundary changes. and I want to look at, of course, more environmental issues such as water. I think that if we could incorporate a secondary sources of water and encourage that, we could save a lot of money and put more money into our classrooms where it belongs. As far as me, myself, the organizations that I am a member of is Order of the Eastern Star. I am a member of the Board of Directors for the Jurupa Valley Chamber of Commerce, and I'm active in many different organizations.
Okay, thank you. Now we'll hear from Dawn Brewer.
Hi, my name is Dawn Brewer. I've been honored to serve on the Jurupa Unified School District Board of Education for the last 4 years. Education is my passion. As a mother of 3 children, I have been deeply involved in Jurupa schools since 1996. My youngest still attends school here, which gives me a vested interest in fighting for the best education for our students. Federal and state mandates are destroying the American education system and denying your child the best education possible. As a board member and a state delegate for the California School Board Association, I am fighting the drill and kill approach to education. Students should be well-rounded and prepared for college when they leave our schools. Critical thinking and problem-solving skills are essential in this global economy, where foreign schools are moving as fast as they can toward a problem-based learning approach. American ingenuity will be a thing of the past because we are eliminating creativity in education. Teachers need to be allowed to use their expertise to teach the whole child. Teaching to a test severely reduces the skills your child learns or is able to effectively use in the real world. Choice is freedom, and I believe we can prepare all students to have more choices for their futures. I'm proud of my voting record. From the very beginning, it's been controversial. It's difficult. I love what I do. It's challenging. It's rewarding. It's intellectually stimulating. And if I hadn't objected in the very beginning, we would now be managing an aquatic center across the street from one of our schools. So a vote for me will get us to change direction of education and provide the best for our students. Thank you.
Okay. Memo Mendez.
Good morning. Good evening. My name is Memo Mendez, and welcome to all of you. I have lived in the community for 22 years, and my wife and I have raised 3 wonderful boys that have all gone kindergarten through 12th grade in the Jurupa Unified School District. And as a result of that, we have been actively involved in the community this past 22 years. We were involved with our boys when they were younger in all their sports activities, such as AYSO and NJP. We coached those teams. I also served on the various boards of the various organizations in the community. And they have now all 3 graduated and are all in college, and so we're very proud of that. My professional life has revolved around education, and the centerpiece has always been students. Students are my #1 priority, and they're our future. That will be my commitment serving on the board, and that has been my entire life. I started off as a classroom teacher. I served as a school principal. Later on, I served as the district office administrator, and currently I am teaching classes at UC Riverside and working with student teachers, again impacting the future generations. I have served on many community boards and professional associations, oftentimes on the board of directors, so I have a broad experience to bring to the board. I am the candidate that brings to the board the 3 facets that I think are critical to serving on the board. I obviously am a member of the community. I'm a parent, I've been a professional educator, and so I can bring the 3 different perspectives, and that, I think, experience will be well-rounded to really perform well on the board. I also believe firmly that we need to work together as a team, not only within the board, but within all the publics in our community, the parents, the teachers, the students, and other community members. I've had leadership skills over the years, and I will bring those to the board. Thank you.
Okay, and finally we'll hear from Melody Arganda.
Good evening. I moved to Indian Hills in 1985, and I am a single mom. I have one son who only went 1 year to Stone Avenue Elementary School in kindergarten. Because of babysitting issues, he was allowed to come to the district that I work in. I am a teacher currently in middle school. I teach 6th grade. I've been in that at Fontana Unified School District for 22 years. I taught 12 years at 5th grade, and now I'm on my 10th year in 6th grade. I've taught and subbed in all the grades K through 8th grade. I'm a union rep. I've been a union rep. I worked in the PTA. My son is the joy of my life. He graduated from Fontana and went straight to the U.S. Navy, and he's currently serving on the USS Carl Vinson and in San Diego, which I'm really thrilled to have him here in California. I've been 30 years as a teacher, public school, and then after a while I got kind of tired of the politics and the issues that were in public school, and I went to work at the California Rehabilitation Center in Norco, which is a level 2 prison. And I've had experience on that side. And I believe as board members, we need to make the decisions based on our responsibilities to see that every child is afforded an opportunity to reach their fullest potential, whether they go on to college, receive technical training, or enter the workforce after graduation. And thank you very much.
All right, thank you for those opening statements. Now we go on to the question portion. We're going to ask a slightly different question of the challengers than of the incumbents. We will begin with Brian Schaefer. Brian, how will your leadership add to the school board?
Leadership. Without leadership, you have chaos. We have a fractured board now. One of my goals is to have a positive working relationship with every single board member. Again, without that, school board trustees need to work together, work with the administration. The focus has to be on the students. If it's not on the students and it's on the school board, very little gets done. The next 7 to 10 years will be very difficult years for all of us. But for students graduating from high school, 68% of them will not find a job. So the focus has to be back onto the students and not on the school board itself and their activities.
Okay. Pi Cornejo, same question. How will your leadership add to the school board?
My leadership roles in recent years have involved much learning about education finance and the differentiation between restricted funding and non-restricted funding and such funds, how they should be properly used. I also believe that as a leader in the school district, I would be looking to make sure that all children, including the EL learners who most recently took quite a dip in their testing scores, which seem to be very important these days, are looked at and dealt with and taught to their fullest potential in whatever manners are appropriate for the English learners. I would also like to see a cohesive school board that works together on a constant basis.
Okay, Memo Mendez, how will your leadership add to the school board?
It will add in the fact that I have extensive leadership abilities that have spanned decades in a variety of professional and civic organizations. As a matter of fact, the reason that I went into school administration was because early on in my career as a classroom teacher, I was asked to serve on a variety of district-level committees representing our school and in a variety of issues and situations. So from then on, my life really revolved around using those leadership skills and continuing to develop those skills over the years. And I believe that when we talk about leadership, not only does it take commitment and hard work and effort, but it also takes experience to build. And if you have the experience on which to build, then you can successfully be a team builder and really have cohesive interactions in the community and in our schools.
Okay. Melody Arganda, how will your leadership add to the school board?
Well, I think putting some common sense onto the school board is needed. As already stated, this board is fractured tremendously. I've been watching it for the last couple months, and it's interesting. I'm the language arts department chair at our school, so I have the leadership of keeping our language arts department together and calling meetings. And I think I have good leadership skills that will bring the board and be able to work together and find compromises and making sure that we all work together, because you can't, as a board, you have to be together. You can't have a house divided, because it will fall. And we need to make sure that we are here for the kids and not for our own egos. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. A slightly different question for the incumbents. Mike Rodriguez, how has your leadership benefited the board?
I would say my leadership benefits the board. I'm not there to benefit the board. I'm here to benefit the community. And a lot of times we will disagree. And we should disagree. We should have adult disagreements, but we should go forward. And when there's a majority vote, the board should go forward in that direction. But your question was directed regarding the board. And for me, it's not about the board. It's about supporting and representing those community members who voted for me, and supporting those parents who have voted for me, and also those who've not voted for me. So when we talk about working as a board, at times we're gonna have disagreements, but we need to resolve them as adults. We need to focus on issues and not the individuals. Thank you.
Mary Burns, how has your leadership benefited the board?
Greatly. I actually have my master's in governance through CSBA, and I believe that understanding what the role of as a board member is vital. There has been a fractured board, and I believe that knowing what the role of an elected representative is vital. We do not run the school. We are a policy-making group, and we are to speak as one voice. It is very difficult when not everyone understands the role of what the board is. Our board can get along. It's if they choose to. This body needs to be educated as to what the roles are. The way that I have made a difference is I have educated myself about what our function is.
Okay, thank you. Dawn Brewer, same question. How has your leadership benefited the board?
Well, I'm a proven leader who can make tough decisions. Spent the last 4 years making them. I'm a leader who studies the issues and listens to the public so that I can make the best possible decisions for Jurupa Unified. I have stayed out of the fray of a very dysfunctional board. I'm not the name you read in the paper. I'm very proud of that. It's difficult. I am not a yes man. I have no conflicts of interest in the district, not with the district or anyone else in it, which keeps me unbiased and gives me the perspective of the community that I'm serving. And it is a layperson board, and to have that perspective on the board is critical. I'm not a yes man. I study, I educate myself, I listen, and I will continue to do that as a board member.
Okay, thank you. This next question will address to Melody first. Already been mentioned. If a student brings a gun to school, what is the appropriate punishment for that student?
No tolerance is the state law, and it's the district policy, and so the student needs to be expelled from the school district. And if it's a toy gun or a facsimile, whatever type of gun it is, if there's zero tolerance in the district, the student needs to go through the process of being expelled.
Okay, thank you. Memo, same question.
As she mentioned, the student needs to go through the process, but the law is very clear. One of the items clearly listed under the legislation is that that's a suspendable item. So suspension would be the answer. I mean, expulsion. Expulsion would be the answer.
Okay. Dawn, what's the appropriate punishment?
Well, they would immediately go through the expulsion process with the board, and they would also have their legal consequences. We do have resource officers on our campuses, and if we encounter a student with a gun, they are there to take the report and to take the student into custody. So we have multi-levels of discipline for that student.
Okay, Mike Rodriguez, if a student brings a gun to school, what is the appropriate punishment for that student?
The appropriate punishment is expulsion, and I agree with Ms. Brewer. They should be incarcerated and they should go through the penal system. But also, we need to mention that are our policies in place? Are they are they representative of all students, and are all students given the proper opportunity, and are they going through a process that is fair and equitable for all students? But the answer to your question is they should be immediately expelled, removed, incarcerated, and brought through the penal system.
Okay, Brian Schaefer?
Common sense would tell you that the student should be expelled. And no matter whether you agree with policy or not, that student should be expelled. You do not put teachers, students, anyone in harm's way. You're inviting the criminal element into the neighborhood by by voting to not expel the student. You're also inviting the criminal element in by not expelling students selling drugs on campus. There is no justification whatsoever at all, period. There's no argument. Thank you.
Pi?
The Ed Code clearly states that a student who brings any type of dangerous item to school with or without intent to harm another should be expelled. There is a series of hearings and manners in which the student can defend their actions, but zero tolerance is zero tolerance. And as a teacher on the sites, I want to know that not only myself is safe, but also every child who is on my campus, and I can't confirm that if I know that someone has been allowed to be excused from a zero tolerance policy and has not been expelled.
Okay, Mary?
The state requires mandatory expulsion. Anything else would be unacceptable. There are situations and incidences where staff is reviewing cases, and there could be some kinds of exceptions where even a suspended expulsion. However, when it comes to guns, it's a mandatory expulsion. There's no exception to someone carrying a loaded weapon on campus.
Okay, we got everybody on that one? Okay. Memo gets the first shot at this question. With declining enrollment, should the district consider closing one or more of its schools?
No, I don't think that there's a need for that. I think that if we really maximize the use of our funding and run the district as efficiently as possible, there's no need to do that. It's also important to maintain schools locally in the community so that we don't wind up having students transferred across district, from one school to the other at a long distance. So I don't think there's a need, and I don't believe that our district is faced at this time with the need to close any of the schools.
Brian?
Question again?
Yes, should the district, with declining enrollment, should the district consider closing one or more of its schools?
Well, the economy the way it is, anything's on the table, but how will that affect the class sizes? How will that affect, like Memo said, the busing? There's many factors that have to be discussed by 5 members of the board in a civil manner, and with parent and student and teacher and employee participation. It's a community thing. We need to get together as a community and discuss it. It's not one person's opinion or my way or the highway. It's 5 school board trustees in conjunction with the administration, with all the information they have. But again, it's a community. The community should be involved in every aspect of any situation as far as closing a school. Thank you.
Okay. Pi Cornejo, with declining enrollment, should the district consider closing one or more of its schools?
I think the point in question would more likely be how great of a decline in enrollment. If a school has many unused classrooms and there are administrative fees and facilities fees that are being used to keep a school up and running, then I think it definitely should be a consideration. I would much rather see a school closed and the children and class sizes continue at the rate where they are, whether it's class size reduction, 32 to 1, or whatever the numbers are for the contract at that time, and maintain the level of education at that time. It's not the best choice or the most favored option, but it definitely needs consideration if decline in enrollment is such that it puts an undue financial burden on the district.
Okay, Mary, same question.
We are in a declining enrollment. However, I think that the better option would be to look at the boundaries and switch students around. We do have students that travel a great distance, and I think that by looking at boundaries, we could keep the class size down. And keeping the class size down is something very important. I'm afraid that if we looked real seriously right off the bat at closing a school, it would pump the class size up in other areas. So I agree with Mr. Schaefer that this is a situation that we need the staff to look into very seriously and to report to us, and we need to talk about it, and we need to hear the community. When you talk about closing a school, moving a principal, those are the most volatile subjects that there are, because those children that get moved, their life is disrupted. So I clearly would not be anxious to look at closing a school unless it was absolutely necessary.
Okay, thank you. Don Brewer, with declining enrollment, should the district consider closing one or more of its schools?
Closing a school is not a simple decision. The schools belong to the community. I believe in saving jobs. Our school district, as most school districts in the state, are funded by state taxes, state revenue. If we don't maintain jobs in our community, we are the largest employer in Jurupa. We'll never get out of this. We need people working so that they can pay their taxes, so that we can get funded for better education. It is a difficult decision, and I agree we need to do redistricting before we even consider if or what school would be closed.
Okay, Melody?
I'm not really in favor of closing schools because, again, as all the other people have said, if you close a school, then you have to push those kids into another school that ups the class sizes, and our class sizes are already too much for teachers to handle. And then you have other elements, again, of traveling distances. I know when my son was supposed to go to school, he was supposed to go to Indian Hills, but because Stone Avenue opened up, well, you're not going to ride a bus anyway, so we're just going to bus you to Stone Avenue. And I was kind of upset at the time because that was 4 miles from my house. But I came around to it. It was a good school. And Memo was the first principal for my son there, so I liked it. But parents do get upset when their kids have to travel a long way and going to PTA meetings or going to meetings to school. And there's a lot of ramifications going on there.
Okay, Mike Rodriguez, with declining enrollment, should the district consider closing one or more of its schools?
When we talk about declining enrollment, we went from just over 21,000 students to just over 20,000 students. So we've lost about 1,000 students in the last year and a half, from a budget of $169 million to about just over 151 million. At this time, we don't need to, but if we continue to lose ADA, if we can continue to lose funding, I believe in the next 4 to 5 years, we may have to look at that. And again, that would have to be a board decision with community committee input. Also, you have to understand that closing schools, are we willing to bus our students at longer distances, putting them in positions where they're walking farther to their bus stops, putting them in danger? Those are also things that need to be considered. So at this time, we have lost about 1,000 students in the last year and a half. I believe we'll continue to decline, but at this time we don't need to close schools.
Okay, the next question will go to Brian first. Should the school district use student performance on standardized testing to measure teacher effectiveness in the classroom?
Why? How do you measure teacher effectiveness? It's unfair to throw the blame on the teacher when students underperform. Teachers have students for a very short period of time, and what teachers don't have control of is the home environment, parental parental guidance, their neighborhood environment. Teachers do not have control of that. They have them for a short period, and the teachers at Jurupa Unified School District are exceptional teachers. They deserve more credit than they're getting. What we need is more parental involvement. We need community involvement. And with the times the way they are, we all have to be involved. Thank you.
Okay, Melody, same question. Should the school district use student performance on standardized testing to measure teacher effectiveness?
That's one of my biggest pet peeves, and I could go on for a long time, but no. Absolutely not. I am totally against that. It's like judging apples to oranges, as Mr. Schaefer said. We are out of control of what happens when those children leave my school and my room at night. Did they have dinner that night? Did their mother lock them out of the house at 7 o'clock and let them back in at midnight? Did they have to sleep in a bed with 5 people? Do they only have 1 bedroom? You know, there's a lot of instances that, and do their parents care if they're at school or not? There's a lot of outside influences that affect these kids when they come to school to test, and they might even not be feeling well that day. And to tie my evaluation to my test scores, I am totally against it.
Okay, Mike Rodriguez, same question.
Could you repeat the question?
Yes. Should the school district use student performances on standardized testing to measure teacher effectiveness?
At this time, I don't believe so. But when I first got on the board, I proposed a program. I called it the 3-2-1 program, where elementary school teachers from first grade would follow their students from first, second to third grade. And then the fourth grade teachers would follow their students from fourth, fifth to sixth grade. If we had a policy in place like this, it would be a better barometer, a better gauge to measure performance. As it stands now, and I'll give an example, and we did this as parents. We would do the research on teachers at the elementary school, and my wife would go out and solicit and want that teacher who had higher performing test grades. So basically what we have is we have a system where involved parents want the best education for their children, so they go and they solicit what they believe are the best teachers. So what you have is teachers getting the best students with parents who are involved in their education, who are also partnering with their teachers.
Don Brewer?
It's kind of a funny question. The district doesn't like being judged by one test. It's one day. So how would we then expect our teachers to be judged on one day, one flashbulb moment in time? It doesn't account, test scores don't account for value-added teaching. There are many lessons that are taught throughout the years that our students do take advantage of and do carry with them that aren't part of a standardized test. And we need to look at the many facets of teaching before we decide that we're going to evaluate them on one flashbulb moment in time. I am not for that.
Okay, Mary Burns?
The answer is no. There are a multitude of things going on, not only in the teachers' lives, but in the students' lives. And over my 20 years of sitting there, I've heard some stories that clearly make it very, very difficult for the teachers to work with some of these students. But should the teacher be graded for that? Absolutely not. Our teachers are good teachers, and they work hard, and they do a good job. We have some of the best, and I'm very proud of our teachers in our district. And the way that I judge them is by their efforts, and I think that they do a fine job.
Okay,
So,
Memo?
No.
Teaching is a very complex activity, and until you really step in front of a classroom and try to teach, you have no idea what it really takes to run an effective classroom. we all agree that academic achievement has got to be one of our top priorities. And we all agree as parents that we want to maximize that achievement for our own students, and likewise as a board member, I would want the same thing that I have wanted for my students out of the district, to have every other parent have that opportunity as well too. But as I said, being that the teaching aspect is so complex that there's so many variables that there's no way that you can judge the performance of a teacher in the classroom on one set of data or one factor. On the other hand, teachers affect the lives of students in many other ways besides test scores. Again, not to minimize the importance of academic achievement test scores, but we need to establish, or there needs to be a multifaceted criteria that is equitable and really speaks to all the facets that are involved in the teaching process.
Okay. Pi?
I am strongly against teacher evaluations being based on student scores. For all the reasons that every person here has already stated, in addition to the fact that my oldest daughter is a perfect example of a child who has never been comfortable taking a test. Took her to RCC when she was but 11 years old to go through a test-taking strategies course that helped her immensely. But when in 6th grade, her science teacher told me that she twirled her hair and sweated bullets when she took tests, and when she left that morning, I knew she knew that material. Made sure she ate an appropriate meal, made sure that she was relaxed, got her sleep. She's not a strong test taker. She's a successful academic student. She graduated, as I said, from Jurupa Valley High School and is doing quite well so far in her first semester at Cal State Fullerton. We have no control, again, over external forces in addition to a child's makeup and how they perform on a test on any given day.
Okay, Melody. Next question then. What should the school district do to improve student achievement?
They can use multiple measures as far as looking at the teachers' evaluations. Of course, the principal should be doing classroom observations to see if the kids are learning what they're supposed to be learning, or the teacher's on target. We have in our school district, we call them professional learning communities, where we get together, the teachers sit down and plan lessons together and try to coordinate what we're doing to be pretty close to what we're teaching to all our students and to make sure that we're passing the standards. There's a new thing called RTI, which is reteaching to interventions, and so we're into the process of reteaching kids to the standards that they're missing.
Okay, Mary Burns, what should the district do to improve student achievement?
I believe collaborative teaching and team teaching has been some of our more successful things that have happened. We've been working with a program called Focus for Success that still needs some tweaking done, and things to increase our test scores. Our test scores have been coming up, and we're very, very proud of that. But I believe that collaborative teaching and staying focused on what is best for kids and staying at it is quite necessary. So, thank you.
Okay, Memo, what should the school district do to improve student achievement?
Again, teaching collaboration obviously is a very strong factor. Second factor is really focusing on what are the variables that impact student achievement, and how can we get those tools and those strategies in the hands of every classroom teacher. I have been involved over the last 7 years doing some consulting work with the San Bernardino Riverside County Office of Education, and we provide a series of 5-day, full-day trainings for teams of school site personnel, including classroom teachers, including all the other support personnel. When those teams then put together a plan of action at their sites, achievement goes up. And so those kind of strategies and efforts, I think, are the ones that we need to take a look at to really maximize academic achievement in the district.
Okay, Brian, what should the school district do to improve student achievement?
Maybe they're doing all they can right now. Maybe it's time to get some input from the teachers as to how to get the parents more involved, how to get the students more involved. If it's not working, everyone says, let's change this, let's change that. If we don't get involvement from parent and teacher community, or parent and student and community, how do we know we'll ever have the right formula? the teachers are working very hard, and how many years have we been talking about this? Let's get personal responsibility from the students. Let's get them involved, because right now there's something missing. Let's get some input from those students. What do they want? What will really motivate them? I guess my time's up.
All right, thank you. Pi, what should the school district do to improve student achievement?
Well, one of the saddest things I think is happening currently in education is the lack of recognition to how much growth has been made by our students. We're all so busy focusing on jumping through that next hurdle, that next API, that next AYP score, that we fail to look back and think how far we've come. I believe that having high expectations for every child helps with improving achievement. I believe in getting parent involvement very much a part of a child's education also helps. Collaborative grade level meetings, focusing, looking at short cycle assessments, looking at what children need work on and having those skills focused on and making sure that the children are reaching proficiency on those skills throughout the year is very effective in helping with student achievement.
Okay, Don Brewer, what should the district do to improve student achievement?
First and foremost, the district needs to have a plan. As a board member, I've asked for a study session regarding instruction in our district. Unfortunately, we're fourth from the bottom in growth this year in 2 counties. We need to look at that and really address the needs of all of our students and not just a particular portion of them. The state of California has us teaching a wide variety of standards in each grade level, making it absolutely impossible for students to actually internalize the foundations that will make them successful in higher levels of math and English, as well as social studies and science. I'd like to see our students continue to be well-rounded in their education, being in creative aspects, and not foregoing social studies and science for math and English language arts.
Okay. Mike, what should the school district do to improve student achievement?
First of all, when I first started on the board 7 years ago, of our 16 elementary schools, several of them were in the 400s. Right now we have 3 that are in our 800s and several more in the 700s. So we have had some success. What we need to continue is student intervention, catching our students who are underperforming, catch them early. We continue to need to have parent-teacher partnering. That's what we've done with our children, is making sure that we meet the teacher. The teacher knows that we talk to our student or our child knows that we're talking to that teacher, that teacher has our phone number, and that we're in constant contact. Again, you can only put so much on teachers and so many plans in place, but in the end, it's about a student intervention. It's about partnering with those teachers to make sure that our children have success.
Okay, this will be our final question before we go to the closing statements. Last year, the school district and board member Noreen Considine filed suit against each other over the issue of confidential student records. Considine's lawsuit was dismissed by the court, but the district has pursued its lawsuit. The question is, and we'll go to Mike first, should the school district be in the business of suing a duly elected board member?
Excellent question. First of all, I don't believe that should happen. We should try to work together and resolve issues by sitting down face to face and hammering those out. I do believe that this lawsuit by the district was politically motivated. 2 of the current board members who sit there, they're on my right now, have voted to go forward based on what I believe, and we shouldn't be going in further depth because it is in litigation, but what I believe are politically motivated charges. It is in the Brown Act and in several regulations that a board member has a right to take a document and provide it to legal authorities, whether it's the district attorney, the state attorney general, if they believe that there's something that is not legal within the system. If we had this in the city of Bell, this wouldn't have happened, which is happening with Bell now. So again, I believe it's politically motivated. Those who I've talked to have agreed as well. Thank you.
Okay, Melody, should the school district be in the business of suing an elected board member?
I don't know, but I don't think board members should be in the business of suing the school district. And that's what's happened in this district. And that's the sad thing, is where the money's going is down the hole to pursue lawsuits that have been dismissed over and over and over again. And if the school sees that they need to sue the board member, then so be it. If they are violating a law or some kind of board policy, so be it. But I don't think board members should be suing the school district.
Okay, Mary Burns, same question. Should the school district be in the business of suing an elected board member?
I don't believe our school district is in the business of suing. However, I do believe that defending the rights of the parents is foremost. And if, in fact, a board member is abusing the confidentiality of discipline records, I do believe that some action must be taken, be it a censure, a suit, or whatever is necessary. I feel it is our responsibility to protect the rights not only of the children, but the parents. If a board member were to be storing documents in order to sue the district, yes, I feel that something needed to be done. However, we are not in the business of suing anybody. We are in the business of educating children, and that is foremost what our business is, and we stick to it.
Okay, Memo, same question.
Lawsuits in our system are a means of resolving situations where violations or transgressions have occurred in our society. And as I see it in our school system, that should be something of a last resort. Obviously, that's extremely costly, as has been mentioned, for our district, and has been extremely costly for our district. There should be a process by which these should be resolved before they even get to that stage. Actually, there should even be a process within the board and a means of decorum and running business in such a professional manner that those things should never occur. However, if in fact there has been a severe violation or transgression, then obviously situations like this have to be taken into account. If I myself, as a board member, were found to be in violation and in severe transgressions of laws or anything else that's severely affected, then I would feel okay with being sued.
All right. Thank you. Brian, same question. Should the school district be in the business of suing an elected board member?
The school district has to protect the students and the parents and the community. As far as Considine's lawsuit on the retaining discipline records, the school district should not have had to sue her. She should have just returned them. Apparently she hasn't, because at a board meeting, her husband threatened to release confidential student discipline records of my 2 children that went through the discipline process. He wanted to destroy my credibility as a candidate. I admit my children went through the discipline process. My wife and I walked with them. The system worked for them, but for a school board trustee to have confidential student information like that, they should not have it. They're out of control. They have their own agenda. They don't belong sitting on that board. They are not representing the students and parents, the community at all. Thank you.
Pi?
I would want to study the law and see what is appropriate for school boards and or districts as far as lawsuits go. We do have a very suit-happy type of society. I would wonder if it would not be more appropriate to begin some type of recall activity for such board members. I also would be questioning to what purpose were these documents retained and how the person in question ended up with ownership of the records, because my experience with student records is that they're signed out, they're very well controlled, and people look at records but they don't leave the site with records. And so all of those questions would be things I'd really want to investigate before I could determine whether a lawsuit was appropriate or not.
Okay, Don?
We are not in the business of suing anyone, let alone board members. However, we are in the business of protecting the financial solvency of the district. And by a board member retaining confidential student information that by ed code all of us only have limited access to, opens the district to a potential financial liability that could be devastating for us. It was cheaper in this instance to try and get it resolved legally, since we could not get it resolved at the board table. And that's unfortunate. It is the way it is, though. And we don't control other people, but we do need to protect our district, and I will continue to fight for our kids and our district.
All right, thank you. That ends our question and answer session. We will now begin the closing statements. We are going to go in the reverse order from the opening statements, so we will start over here with Melody Arganda. Melody, you have the floor for 1 minute.
I think to be elected to this school board is as an outside entity. The board needs outside eyes. Some of the people that are running have district experience, and I just feel that I can bring an outside viewpoint that is not there on the board now. And if I will work to ensure that every student is given a chance to receive the best education that they deserve in a safe and crime-free environment. So I hope that voting for me will bring a new voice to the Jurupa Unified School District School Board. Thank you.
Okay, Memo Mendez.
You probably have heard the saying many times that actions speak louder than words. And so I would really suggest that every single voter in the district take a look at each one of the candidates that is running and take a look at where they have stood in the past and what they have actually done in their community. The second thing is that past behavior is the best predictor of how we're going to do, how we're going to behave in the future. So again, I think that the public needs to take a look at every single candidate, along with their qualifications and everything else that goes into making a conscious decision, an informed decision. It's really critical who you put into office, as you have seen not only here, but in other communities where things have not gone so well. So the choices voters make have significant impact in our communities. And so think carefully, make the right choice during election, be an informed voter. Thank you.
Okay, Don Brewer.
There are many serious issues that need to be addressed in the next 4 years. National standards are coming to California. The budget will continue to look bleak for the next 4 years, I'm sorry to say. We have to implement a new pre-kindergarten class due to the recent signing by Schwarzenegger of the new age limit for entering kindergarten. And the ACLU is suing 30 districts regarding fees in public education. I want to make sure that that doesn't affect our extracurricular activities in particular. Our kids can reach the bar wherever we set it. I believe we need to set it high. I will continue to support, protect, and cheer all of our students in Jurupa, as I have for the last 13 years. And I will continue to fight for the most underserved population in our district, which is our GATE students. Thank you for your support this year and for the past 4 years.
Mary Burns.
Thank you very much. I believe that I am the better candidate in this race because I have experience. Right now, the state of California has a crisis. It's not a big secret. California is in a crisis. And I don't believe that we have the time to start training somebody with new questions and new things that need to be learned in order to be an effective board member. I'd like to stand on my record and say that I am a respected board member in my community and appreciated in my community for the things that I do. I also believe that in America, the basis of our culture is our public education system, and that the taxpayers need to be listened to, even if you don't have children in our school district, because you pay the taxes that do support our public schools. So not only is it just the parents that I'm interested in, but I'm interested in taking care of the finances of our district, and I think I have the best experience. Thank you.
Okay, Pi Cornejo.
As a parent and community member, I have a stake in the academic success of the students in my community. I believe that it's vital and imperative to raise the academic standards of our children in our schools. As a teacher in a nearby district, I know how this can be done. My school my Title I school in a 3 or 4 year period became a distinguished school. So I have the experience knowing what it takes to have a successful school. I also believe that community members, along with district administration, and especially the professionals in the district, and by that I mean the teachers, all need to be part of the process. There can be no doubt that I am highly qualified to serve in the Jurupa Unified School Board District because of my background and my knowledge and my interest and my love of students.
Okay, Brian Schaefer.
First of all, I promise never to sue the school district. Over $1 million has been wasted on frivolous lawsuits. That money could have been used to retain teachers, fully fund AVID, ag, arts, what have you. That money also could have been spent to help the students in need. The demographics of Jurupa Unified School District shows that about 50% of the students are socioeconomically disadvantaged. It is admirable that students be prepared to go to college, but let's be honest, most of them probably will not. I really believe that we need to expand our vocational courses that are offered at Jurupa from 11 to 85 that are available. We need to teach the kids a skill. And if they want to go to college, they can save up money and eventually get there. Thank you.
Mike Rodriguez.
First of all, I'd like to thank the community of Jurupa for giving me the honor to, and it has been an honor to serve on the board the last 7 years. I'm a product of public schools. This is the greatest country in the world. We attempt to educate every student if they want to work hard. Without education, I fear for our students, and so that's why I focus so much, and I donate my stipend, I give scholarships, and my wife does as well, to honor those students who work hard and who are disadvantaged. Our children are competing, and I'm a businessman, and they not only compete against kids from Corona and Norco, Orange County and Los Angeles and San Bernardino, but they also are going to compete against young adults from Japan, China, India, Europe. Education is the great equalizer. It opens so many keys. I started as a craftsman, went back and got my education and my degree. I've tried to be an example to my children, and by doing that, by education, it gives an opportunity for all our students. Thank you.
All right, thank you all very much. Good luck to all of the candidates. We want to thank the people in the audience for joining us, and we'd also like to thank those watching online on PE.com. You can watch this video in its entirety on demand on PE.com on the road trip area of the politics web area. Once again, thanks to our timekeeper, Carol Park. Want to also thank the production crew, Adam Drexler, Dave Kaufman, Louis Amistoy, and Angel Ortiz. And please don't forget to vote on November 2nd. And join us on PE.com live on November 2nd for a live election show. And as those results trickle in at a very slow pace, we can carry on into November 3rd and have a live recap show on November 3rd as well. Again, thank you to everyone for participating. For the Press Enterprise, I'm Nels Jensen.
Leclerc, vous savez que vous achetez moins cher.
Dites Philippe, c'est quoi tous ces packs de Vittel?
De la Vittel en promo chez Leclerc.
C'est ça, de la Vittel en promo.
Parfaitement, de la Vittel à un prix incroyable. Chez Leclerc, les 3 packs de Vittel sont à 3 € au lieu de 8,46 €.
De la Vittel à ce prix-là? C'est pas possible.
Et si, alors qu'un pack de 6 bouteilles de 1,5 litre de Vittel est à 2,82 €, chez Leclerc, du 29 septembre au 9 octobre, les 3 packs sont au prix incroyable de 3 €, soit 11 centimes le litre. Pour modalité dans le magasin participant.
Alors, c'est pas formidable de la Vittel à ce prix-là?
Ben quoi, c'est de la Vittel?
À prix Leclerc.
Thank you.